Imagine the problems they have down there.
52. Now on to, we've reached that time of year eagerly anticipated around the world as one of the highlights in the annual sporting calendar. From the All England Lawn Tennis Club, Desmond Lynam introduces the start of Wimbledon 92.
Wimbledon 92 is about to get underway. Welcome, and will be opening for business at this time each day of the championship. Now, it would take a brave man to say so, but not only is it not raining here right now, but the official word is that it will not rain here this week. There we are, I've said it. The action gets underway at midday here on 16 of the 18 courts each day. On centre court and number 1, it's at 2 o'clock, and traditionally the first on centre court will be the man who surprised so many last year by winning the championship, Michael Stich of Germany. His countryman Boris Becker, whom he tormented in last year's final, will also be on centre court later. Becker's played in 6 of the last 7 finals. The number 1 seed is Jim Courier of the United States, who's already won the first 2 legs of the Grand Slam, the Australian and French titles. He starts his campaign on court 1 at 2 o'clock.
Well, because of the early conclusion to the second test at Lord's, BBC One now has an extra treat for tennis fans, with live coverage of day 1 of the 1992 Lawn Tennis Championships at Wimbledon, introduced by Desmond Lynam.
Welcome to Wimbledon on day 1 of the championship. We're already on the air on BBC Two. We thought we'd start right away here with the views of a man who first played here way back in 1977, and this year he'll be playing his 14th Wimbledon championship. John McEnroe.
How close to the vintage 1984 McEnroe can you get now?
I think there's days where I can play almost as well. I think in some respects my ground strokes, for example, are probably as good or better than then at times than it was. I don't think that my serve is quite as consistent, but I mean there's days where I can serve well, and volleying is fairly similar, although I don't think I volleyed quite as well as I did. But I think there's days where I can play great tennis, but on a mental level, that's the biggest difference. Day in and day out, digging so deep in order to win some matches, maybe on days you don't feel that good. I think that's probably the biggest change for me. I just haven't been able to dig deep enough on enough occasions to really break in and win the major events now. And that's why for me I look at the big tournaments differently, because I just haven't been able to put enough big matches together. I've gotten to the quarters or the semis, but since '85 I haven't gotten to the finals of any major event. And based on reality,
the RAF's first rehabilitation officer, whose lives were touched by this remarkable man. But more than that, it comes from all of you, the tennis-loving public of Great Britain
who for the past 41 years have welcomed this marvellously modest man into your homes as the voice of Wimbledon on BBC television. Of course, I'm referring to Dan Maskell, CBE. You may just like to know one or two of the things engraved on that lovely salver. 1929, first teaching professional at the All England Club, 16 times British professional champion, 1933 coach of Britain's winning Davis Cup team, 1953 to 73 training manager of the Lawn Tennis Association, and to crown this extraordinary career, he has not missed a single day's play at Wimbledon since 1929. Can you believe it? So from all of us, Dan, a very, very happy retirement.
The BBC, leading the way to the greatest show on earth.
Good afternoon. Hopefully I'm going to be able to beam myself back from Parallel 9 now. Yes, we're back, Wilson. We did it. Good afternoon. Welcome to CBBC. How are you? Hope you're feeling all right. I had a brilliant 2-week holiday in Parallel 9. If you saw me on Saturday, I have to say it was...
Wimbledon 92, the official BBC sports magazine. Player profiles, the top seeds and their chances of success. Tall men with big serves. Has men's tennis gone power mad? Facts and feats, some weird and wonderful Wimbledon tales. And champion or showman, can Andre Agassi make it to the top? Wimbledon 92, your view from the baseline.
See highlights of yesterday's tennis action from Wimbledon, introduced by Harry Carpenter.
The hasty departure of Jimmy Connors from these championships yesterday must have sent a few shivers of apprehension to other aging ex-champions trying to keep the good times going. One or two of them were playing today. John McEnroe, for example, 33 now, no longer accorded the dignity of seeding and 8 years away from his last singles final. And Martina Navratilova, 9 times champion here, but 35 years old and still smarting from her summary dismissal from last week's Eastbourne tournament by an upstart 21-year-old. McEnroe and Martina are prime examples of great stars whose brilliance has inevitably waned, and when they step on court these days, they tread warily. Coming down from these exalted heights, but staying with the over 30s, we had our own apprehension today about the fate of the British pair, Joe Dury and Jeremy Bates. 5 years ago, they triumphed together here in the mixed doubles. But how far were they likely to get in the 1992 singles?
Let me tell you that you will be seeing this match right now on BBC Two. Some of you will have worked that out for yourselves already, I suspect, but this match will be on BBC Two. Before we leave you on One, let me tell you that Michael Stiek, the defending champion, had a pretty nervy start against Amos Mansdorf of Israel, losing the first set, winning the next 3 though, and he goes through to meet Magnus Larsson of Sweden in the next round. Well, there we are. We have tennis for you all the way through, weather provided, right up till 8:10 on BBC Two. But right now, it's cheerio on BBC One.
The European Football Championship final. World Cup holders Germany against Denmark, the fairy tale finalists. Live coverage this Friday at 7 on BBC One.
Good afternoon, welcome to Children's BBC. How are you? Hope you're feeling all right on this Wednesday afternoon. Andre Agassi, by the way, who is currently playing. I've got so many monitors there, and I can look. I'll put it up there for you. He's currently playing. He's my favourite tennis player, and I hope he wins Wimbledon. And he's on the cover of the Radio Times this week. Here it is. Look, there he is, my main man, Andre. Good luck, and well done to Jeremy Bates, by the way, yesterday, winning for Britain so far. Let's hope he can get to the final too.
Now on BBC One, they've done it once, can they do it again? Giant killers Denmark take on World Cup holders Germany in the final of the European Championship. Introduced by Desmond Lynam.
urge you to skip church tomorrow evening, or slip out before the sermon, and spend a more secular night with me on BBC Two. I've chosen some stuff from the archives. It's a fairly mixed bag, half an hour of The Likely Lads.
Is he being rude?
Crocodile Dundee. After Eldorado, stay with BBC One for Crocodile Dundee in 30 minutes.
You're watching BBC One.